My name is Wendy Patrick, and this devotional is entitled Just Say the Word, Matthew 8, verses 5 through 13. So, by way of introduction, we're going to talk about authority. That's a great word, isn't it? Now, who doesn't like to have some kind of authority? Some of us enjoy that privilege by virtue of a job title, or maybe due to a position in an organization or a club we belong to, or maybe we're parents or grandparents, or both. When we're in a position of authority, what we say goes. Really? Let's look at a passage that reminds us who really has the ultimate authority. And by the way, it isn't us. Let's look at a powerful example of the ultimate authority. How all God needs to do is say the word and it shall be done. So Matthew chapter 8, the faith of the centurion. You might remember the story. Now, let's talk about defining some terms first of all. What was a centurion? In the time of Jesus' ministry, the land was under Roman occupation. So a centurion was a Roman officer in charge of 100 soldiers, a powerful man full of authority. But in the passage here, we find a centurion seeking the much higher authority of Jesus. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly. Jesus said, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with servants under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and said to those following him, truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. Jesus told the centurion, go, let it be done, just as you believed it would. And his servant was healed in that very hour. What do we find in this passage? Three very important things. The importance of strong faith, humility, and recognizing Jesus as the ultimate authority. In order to grasp the significance of this passage, consider the scene. By the time Jesus entered Capernaum, he had already been traveling around performing miracles, and the news had spread. Everyone wanted one. People who were sick, who were disabled, who were poor, who had lost a loved one. And all of a sudden, here comes this Roman centurion, a Gentile, not even a Jew, probably dressed in finery as the Roman military leader he was, likely projecting authority. Can you picture this? Jesus and his disciples probably thought they were under arrest. Everyone probably stopped in their tracks, wide-eyed, and froze as this man approached. He probably parted that crowd like the Red Sea because they recognized he was a Roman official. Who knows? There may have even been a hush over the crowd in order to hear what the Roman centurion was coming to say. So what did he say? You there, Jesus. I need to talk to you? No. How did he address Jesus? He called him Lord. His disciples' jaws probably just dropped. They might have whispered to each other, did you guys just hear that? And then what did he say? My servant lies at home suffering terribly. He came to ask Jesus for help. Not even help for himself, but for a servant. Here's our first glimpse of the centurion's heart. Surely he could have bought himself another servant, but his compassion was so great for the one he had, he came to find Jesus for healing. And he came to find him himself. He didn't ask for somebody to bring Jesus to him. He took it upon himself to seek Jesus out personally. And this is a great lesson from the passage. We need to actively seek Jesus. We don't have to wait for him to come to us and become complacent in our prayer lives. We need to be proactive and actively seek out him to ask for help. Now, interestingly, when the centurion reached Jesus, he didn't even ask Jesus for his help, not directly. He merely laid out his dilemma. His servant was sick. He was banking on Jesus' mercy. Now, obviously, he came to ask for help. And what did Jesus say? Shall I come and heal him? He offers to come to the centurion's home. What amazing results when we actively seek Jesus out. He is eager to help those who seek him. And unlike those who brought their sick to Jesus, notice the faith of the centurion. It was so great, he knew that Jesus had the power at his disposal to simply say the word. He didn't need to arrange a chariot to have Jesus brought to him and his household and his servant. He had such confidence in Jesus' power. He knew all he needed to do was say it. That's the kind of authority this centurion recognized that Jesus had, way more than he had over his own troops, even though he described that scenario simply by analogy. Now, one of the things we also learn through this passage is that he had complete, total confidence that Jesus had the kind of power and authority that he would never know here on earth. All Jesus had to do was say the word. And our Lord was so pleased with the faith of the centurion that he turned to the crowd following and used him as an example. Truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. And then, of course, Jesus did exactly what the centurion knew he could do. Healed him with a word. Go, let it be done just as you believed that it would. And the servant was healed at that very hour. So it's also about confidence in the authority of Jesus. It's a dramatic lesson for us about the confidence we can have that Jesus only needs to say the word. Whoever we're praying for, whether it's healing, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, no matter what kind of healing, we don't need to drag them into church and put them down in front of the altar and pray for them. All we need to do is ask Jesus in prayer. Just ask for him to say the word and believe. He died on the cross to be able to do that for those of us that seek him. Let us have the faith of that centurion and the confidence in the authority of his word.